conference and a happy new year to everybody. And it is indeed a pleasure to stand here tonight before the People's Army. I'm really chuffed you could be out. I know you've come, some of you's come a long way. Some of us give it the Friday night up. You've had to pay for childcare, etc. So a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart for you lot coming here today. Thank you very much. Listen, I've got a New Year's resolution. I want to be on this year's honours list. It's true. Let's face it, all I've got to do really in my constituency, Ashfield, which is the capital of common sense, all I've got to do is increase crime, make sure that the streets are unsafe, increase homelessness, and steal money from motorists and call everybody a racist. If I do that, I should be on the honours list. Oh, by the way, big congratulations to Mayor Khan, who just this month has received the knighthood. What a lovely man he is. You're probably all aware that the Mayor of London and I are very close friends. In fact, he is living proof that anything is possible in politics. But let's not be too harsh on Mayor Khan. He's a useless mayor of London, because it's because of him that I stood here tonight in front of the People's Army, the Essex division. So thank you for that. In February last year, I made a few comments about the London mayor, which got me into a little bit of bother with the Conservative Party, and they took the whip away from me. And I was told I had to apologise to Mayor Khan, and I told them straight away, there's no way I would apologise to that man. He's ruined our capital city. It should be him that's apologising to the people of London. Look at his track record: robbery up, knife crime up, violent crime up, sexual crimes up. Not me that should be apologising, is it? He needs booting out of office. But as soon as the Tory party took his side against me, I knew the game was up. I knew that Reform UK was my destiny, and I then became Reform UK's first ever Member of Parliament. And for the first time conference, I felt truly at home in my brief political career. I feel part of a truly amazing movement that's captured the hearts and minds of people around the country. People like you, true patriots. We're not far-right protesters. We're just decent, hard-working patriots who love our country and want to leave our country in a better state than when we arrived. Now, I know there's huge pressure on us 5 MPs to help get our country back, but this is a battle conference that we must win. I love my country, and so does Reform UK, which is why we will never apologise for our history, our heritage and our culture. I think you know this next bit. Who wants the country back? Yay! Good answer. My message is clear. If you do not want to embrace our way of life, our history, our heritage, our culture and respect our laws, then clear off. Simple as that. You know what? Parliament keeps trying to give our country away, but we must fight back. This useless Labour government wants to take more money from you lot and give it to other countries or people arriving here illegally. Net zero is making us all poorer. Our businesses pay the most expensive electricity prices in the whole of the world, which is costing jobs. Meanwhile, China is leading the way in renewables and yet still opening coal-fired power stations. It's madness. We are closing coal-fired blast furnaces so we can no longer make virgin steel. It is utter madness. This government is quite happy for us to import steel goods made from fossil fuels from all around the world, but we won't make it here. The hypocrisy is utterly staggering and will bankrupt our country unless we stop this madness. Drax Power Station in North Yorkshire used to produce electricity mined from coal from a nearby coal mine. But we decided to close the coal mine, and in our mad quest for net zero, we now import trees from North America. We put them on diesel-guzzling cargo ships, we transport them over the Atlantic, and then we put them in direct power stations and set fire to them to produce electricity. And that's classed as renewable energy. We're telling children they must plant more trees in this country, yet we're chopping them down in America and setting fire to them. It's madness. And all this is costing you lot £2 million a day in subsidies, in green subsidies, to keep this power station open, whilst our pensions are freezing to death because this wicked, cruel Labour government have taken away their winter fuel payment. It gets worse. My mate, Mad Miliband, what a lunatic he is. He thinks it's a good idea to spend £8 billion on GB Energy and £11.6 billion on foreign climate aid. We at Reform UK say no, this nonsense must end. This is our money, and it needs to be spent in this country on British people. We all know, Conference, that illegal migration has spiralled out of control. Over 150,000 illegal migrants have entered our country over the past few years, and most of them are young men. They are not fleeing a war. There is no war in France. And even if they were fleeing a war, what kind of men leave women and children behind? I do not want these people in my country. Only Reform UK will end this madness. But this Labour government is doing the impossible. They are making things worse. Now, you might have heard this bit before. Can you remember when Sir Keir Starmer said he wanted to release the sausages? Well, I thought he was joking. But what he actually did, he released some silly sausages and put them in his cabinet. So look what we have running the country. You've heard it, haven't you? Free geek here. Rachel from accounts. You know that one, don't you? Angela Rayner, the no-brainer. Mad Miliband, the net zero fanatic. And let's not forget about our very own mastermind, David Lammy. Just a few weeks ago at a conference, I made a joke about David Lammy, which I am big enough to admit when I get things wrong and hold my hand up and apologise for the sake of unity in our great country. And just to remind you what I said before I do apologise, I actually said, did you know there are over 6,000 villages in the UK? And if you took the village idiot from every village and put them into Tottenham, David Lammy would still be the village idiot. Well, Conference, I must apologise, I'm being serious now, for this outrageous statement, as I have received legal notification on behalf of 6,000 village idiots. They're telling me they don't even know where Tottenham is, and neither does David Lammy. The grooming gang scandal has cast a dark shadow on our country. Thousands of young girls have been raped and abused in northern towns. Councils, politicians, police have turned a blind eye, and every single one of these people should be put behind bars. This spineless, pathetic government refused to have a full national public inquiry on the 50-plus towns that have been stained by this horrendous act. And we have to ask ourselves why. I think we all know the reason why. It's the same reason that the councils, the police, the social services and politicians have turned a blind eye. Think about it, guys. Young girls, vulnerable young girls from broken homes, raped and abused and tortured by gangs of men, and Labour refused to hold a full public inquiry. They should hang their heads in shame. I just want to give you a bit of a heads up as well, Conference. Ignore the idiots online who criticise our great party. We have the most popular political leader in our country in my lifetime. We have Zia, our chairman, who is moving mountains to make us a real political force. And a special mention to my good friend Richard Tice, who kept this party going And he's the reason I'm stood here tonight. So thank you to Richard Tart. This time last year we had less than 15,000 members, polling around 10%, no money and no MPs. But in just 12 months conference we've completely turned that around. We now have, I think it's 190,000 members. What about that? We've got 5 MPs, money in the bank, a brilliant new chairman and brilliant new treasurer, dozens of councillors around the UK. The brilliant Dame Andrea Jenkins is our mayoral candidate in Lincolnshire. And we've got over 1,500 fully vetted candidates for this year's council elections. It's fantastic. So, ignore the political experts that you see on Twitter who criticise us every single day. If they were so right and so bright, they would be sat in Parliament, but they're not. We are, us 5. But as our movement grows, so does the opposition to us in the mainstream media. But we're not bothered. We don't need the mainstream media. We've got social media. We get more hits with 5 MPs than all the other parties put together. It's truly phenomenal. But just a few years ago, I was voted the Backbench MP of the Year for the Conservative Party. What accolade that was. But that was nothing compared to another award I got just a year later, when the Daily Mirror voted me the worst man in Britain. Yeah. Still brings a tear to my eye. It was a close call that year, because in second place, hot on my heels, was Prince Andrew. It's true. But you know, last year at a national conference, I ripped up my TV licence reminder on stage. Well, I've not got another reminder to rip up tonight, but I'll tell you what, the bully boys have been round again. I've got red letters. They are threatening legal action if I don't pay my licence fee. I'm telling you what now, conference, hope nobody's taping this, but I am not paying one single penny to fund a pension for perverts like Hugh Edwards. Conference, we've got a mountain to climb, but we've got all the momentum. You know we have. You've seen it everywhere we go. Everybody's coming out and saying they're going to vote for reform. It's absolutely brilliant. We've got local elections this year. Well, some of us have. Sorry. Well, what we're saying to you is, if they cancel your elections, which it looks like they're going to, we've still got elections up in the North and Midlands, and the People's Army will fight. They'll win those elections, and then in a couple of years' time, the army will come south, we'll come down the A1, and we'll win your elections for you as well. I can guarantee you that. At some stage, conference, we're going to have to take this battle to every single ballot box in the country, and we're going to win. The People's Army can do this. I know they can. I've been around a few years now in politics, and I've never felt so proud, so emboldened to be part of such a movement that is going to take our country back and save it. So what I want to say to you all is get involved, sign up friends as members, donate a few quid if you can, stuff envelopes, deliver leaflets, and then you know what? In a few years' time you'll be able to tell your children and your grandchildren that you were part of a movement that helped take our country back. Thank you, conference.